Hey there, good evening. It's Doc for the ReadySetCrypto Premium Newsletter Market Update for Wednesday, September 5th. Look at this carnage in the markets. What in the wide world of sports is going on here? We have Bitcoin down almost 6%. We have Ethereum down almost 15%. Understand that an asset going down 15% in a day does not typically happen in something like the equity markets. In bigger markets, 15% normally represents a correction that occurs over the space of maybe 2 to 3 weeks and not a day. This is the nature of crypto. It's much more volatile. So if you can tame the volatility, that presents opportunity. So if you could imagine this, if you will, if we go down in time, and we go down to something like the 5-minute chart. Okay, so if we go down to the 5-minute chart, all of a sudden we see, look at this, all of a sudden this dump comes in the space of 15 minutes, and then dead cat bounce, and then here comes the next one down here. Okay, so all of this happened this morning, first thing this morning, like 6 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. All right, so easily tradable for the Europeans amongst us. Okay, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go back to the daily chart. Let's examine what on earth is going on here. And you know what? Honestly, I don't care about the news. A lot of people are frantically running around trying to figure out what happened to cause this to drop today. Anytime that you have a piece of undiscounted information coming into the market, this is typically what it'll do. And as they say in the pits, when in doubt, palms out. And palms out, if you've ever seen a trading pit, means that you're selling. You're a seller. When in doubt, palms out. That means when something comes along that you don't know how to handle, you sell. That's your first reaction, is to sell. Okay, so let's get our hands around this move here. Let's get our hands around this move. So a lot of people are freaking out. Oh, we've lost 7,000. All right. I look at this and I say, oh, it's just another lower high setting up, potentially. This is not confirmed as a lower high yet until we actually print a lower high, lower low. So if we go out to the weekly chart shows us what's going on here. It shows us that this is just another potential lower high setting up here in the context of a larger time frame downtrend. So this is something I've been talking about quite a bit lately. Ad nauseum, right? A lot of you probably feel it's ad nauseum, like, Doc, give it up, we want this market to go higher. And I'm like, so do I, but the weekly chart has other designs for this market. Until the weekly chart gives up its downtrend, we will not make any progress with this. This is why I've been so tentative and so conservative with getting into positions for the crypto fund. There's no rush right now. Again, there's no medal for getting the bottom tick. So where are we with this one? Is this automatically going to lead to lower prices? Well, we don't know that. We don't know what happens in the future. So what we can do is we can frame this in. This is what I want to do for you guys. Let's frame this in. Let's add some sanity to what's going on here and show you how to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to this pitchfork looking thing on TradingView. And I'm going to click on that and open up the menu. I'm going to go to fib retracement. So I'm going to start from the bottom, right there, the bottom of the swing, and oh, it's very pretty, isn't it? Go up to the very top of the swing. And what we have are 3 fibs that we need to watch for. 3 fibs here. One of them is 38.2. This is a 38.2% retracement. That's right around 6,800. Okay, that's the first one. That's the first major one. So what we could see is the price just comes down to here, prints a higher low, and rockets off of here like nobody's business as it bakes the shorts, all right? We talked about that one just last night. That's possibility number 1. Possibility number 2 is the price maybe even comes down a little further to about 50%, which is about 66.40, and bounces. And then the very last line of defense for the bulls is going to be about 64.55 or thereabouts. So the price can come all the way down to about 64.55 and bounce from there just like it did here. That was the 61.8% retracement, and then boom from there. Just when it looked like it was peering over the edge of the abyss, about to release into darkness, it reversed. The bull stepped in with volume at that point and drove this thing higher. Okay, so those are the three pullback areas. And if the price gets below 61.8% retracement, which is about 64.55, this level here, here's the line of death, as Muammar Gaddafi once said. Here's the line of death right there. If we pull below that level, then the probabilities have increased for filling in the triangle. Filling in the triangle means that we're going to see Bitcoin go down to 5,800 or maybe even lower. Okay, so that's the first thing that we need to do, is we need to understand that level there, 64.55. Second thing that we need to understand, and let's clear this, and let's draw what happens with price action. Price does not do this normally, right? It doesn't do that. It tends to move in waves. So what I'm going to look for is, I want to see whether or not we print a lower high up here. So at some point, we're going to get a bounce. And whether that bounce goes into a higher high or not, we don't know that yet. Again, anybody that thinks that they know what's going to happen this week, next week, the week after that, as soon as people start to make predictions, tune them out, because all they're going to do is give you a bias. It's going to give you confirmation bias. It's going to turn your reticular activating system into radar for that particular data point. And you will not be able to see anything else out there besides what you're biased to see. That's the way that the human mind works. So what we need to do is to avoid that and let price tell us what's going on. So here's what's going to happen here. At some point, we're going to get a bounce. We will get a bounce. It's very unlikely that we're going to see the price just drop like a stone. We will get some type of a bounce. Now, here's what I'm going to look for. If the price comes up to make a lower high, and in fact, sometimes what you see is the trend line like this gets back tested, and then it fails. So just at the point where everybody says, yay, yippee, we got a bounce, all of a sudden it turns into a lower high and it rolls over and nobody can understand what the hell's going on. It's just said goodbye. That's a goodbye move. That's a literally like, you know, Queen Elizabeth waving her hand saying bye-bye. That's done. Okay, and that whole move there is going to be a weekly lower high. Okay, so when I say that reversals start from the inside out and propagate to larger time frames, this is exactly what will happen if that occurs. So that's the lower high. What also can happen is the price bounces up and makes a higher high. Okay, breaks through the trend line and all of a sudden smokes the bears. So you could say that we have a lot going on here in just the next couple of weeks. There's a lot at stake, just like what we had a lot of stake here. You can see this example here. We got a nice little rally, comes up here, bounces to a lower high, and there's the Queen's wave right there. Bye-bye at the trend line, and she's done. That's it. Okay. So is it going to be something like that, or is the price going to break through the trend line and make a higher high? We don't know that yet. Again, anybody that tells you that they know the answer to that question, please tune them out, because nobody knows. Okay, so get to know your fibs, get to know the levels of decision point, right? And then we can start to get into the energies down the road. So we'll start to throw in the energies here. The energy was getting a little light on some of these charts, not Bitcoin necessarily, didn't have to do that, but some of these charts were getting to that point. Range contraction leads to range expansion. Here was a good example of that with Ethereum. Ethereum, again, another rule of mine, rising patterns break to the, fill in the blank here, to the downside. Rising patterns break to the downside. Descending patterns break to the upside. Okay, so here we go. Rising patterns breaking to the downside. Now, we do have one of the things that I've been looking for some time, and I've been patient about this, is we do have a lower low and we have positive divergence, and we have another oversold signal. Okay, so we got this down to 240. Is it now time to buy Ethereum? We have a nice volume spike here. People panicking, right? Blood in the streets. I want to see if we can get closer to 200. I'm a little greedy here. If it gets down to 200, then I will go for it. I will add another 2% onto Ethereum. That, to me, represents a good place to buy Ethereum down at 200. So I'm not going to go through the rest of the portfolio here. One in particular is Monero. Monero was, everybody was chasing after Monero. And we're seeing a massive pullback right now on Monero, almost 15%. Now, this is not a downtrend yet, guys. This is not a downtrend. This could come down to this rising trend line here, bounce off of this, and might be an excellent entry for a swing. Might be an excellent entry for a swing, okay? So let's keep that one in mind. We may have a lot of opportunity for very quick swing trades in the near future. So that's that end of it. That's the trading end of it. There's also the investing end of it. We're going to be looking for high quality entries into our managed crypto fund. Okay, guys, that's all I have for tonight. Hope to see you guys a little later on the Ready Set Live that we're going to do on Wednesday evening. So look for the live video, which is right below this one, a couple of notches in the newsletter, and you'll see a couple of guys rapping away. So hope to see you out there. Otherwise, we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.